What is going on, guys? I hope you are looking, smelling, and feeling great. I know I am, because today is phase one of getting my Civic race ready. I have a certain date with a certain Fiesta ST that I plan on blowing the doors off of, but got some maintenance issues that I need to deal with first. Today we are doing the tensioner, the pulley, the idler pulley, and the serpentine belt. That's phase one. Phase two is I actually need to do a valve lash on my car. The maintenance reminder came up on my dash, so I need to get that done. Definitely do subscribe if you want to see that. My wife said I can get a supercharger and supercharge this bad boy if I get to 1,000 subscribers, so please help me out with that. But without wasting any more time, let's hop right into it. Okay guys, so as you can see, sorry for starting the camera here, it's just really hard to focus. On the insides, you can start to see lots of splits that are starting to occur. They're not too bad, but I want to catch it before it does go. And the other reason why I'm doing this replacement is my idler pulley is starting to make a weird sound. And also, if you look on the top of the belt, it's not looking so fresh. As you can see, if you look at the replacement parts here, so I have my idler pulley. Here is the product number if you are looking for it. I have my tensioner. That product number is right here. You can pause it and check it out if you need it. And also here's my belt. There is the product number as well. And I mean, if you look at the difference between the two, one's black and one is not so black. So these are the parts we're using to replace them. These are the tools we're going to use. As far as I know at the moment, we need a breaker bar to help with removing the tensioner and the tensioner pulley. We need a 1/2 inch wrench here, or sorry, 1/2 inch wrench. This is a 14 mil wrench. We need a 1/2 inch drive ratchet for the 14 mil socket and a 12 mil socket. Order of operation I'm looking at doing. First, I'm going to stretch the tensioner out to get the belt off. Then we will take the idler pulley off, then the tensioner pulley off, and then the whole tensioner assembly, and then do the reverse to put it all back together. Okay guys, had to sort my camera out to get it to work properly and get a clearer view. But so what you're going to need to do to get your belt off, first of all, is get your 14 millimeter wrench and put it on your tensioner bolt that's holding the tensioner pulley on. And then you're going to get your breaker bar and you will sit it right into the wrench at the top. And what you're going to do is you're literally just going to pull on it, and when you pull on it, you can see it starts to give some slack onto the belt. Now, one thing I'm going to have to be careful of, let me just get this back out. When you're doing this, you really don't want to use a 12-point wrench. Unfortunately, that's all I have. So I'm going to put the camera down while I actually do this, because you don't want to strip that bolt. When you get the new tensioner, well, it does come with a new bolt. So I mean, I guess as long as I can get it off, we're good. But you really don't want to strip that bolt. So if you have a 6-point wrench, you want to use that, not the 12-point. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and I will show you the next step. Okay, so as you can see, I got the belt off. I got the bar basically down to like as far as it can go. You'll feel it stop, and as soon as it stopped, you just kind of lift it up, pull it off. No big deal. I will have a diagram to show you the routing for this, but I've taken my tire off. It's not necessary. You can just jack your car up a little higher and you'll be able to see it afterwards. But as you can see, the belt is here, so it comes down around the crank, around the compressor, up around the alternator, and then back around the idler, around the tensioner, and back down. So I will snake this out and pull this through, and we will go on to step 2. So I got my belt here, guys, and I figured I'd show you. I thought I was a little premature in taking this belt off, if I can focus, but see right here? So that is one of, I mean, a few decent sized crack, especially on the outside. It's not very good. You can see just a whole bunch of cracks starting to form in there, and that's not good. Honestly, I thought this belt was kind of okay. I knew it was on its way out. I could just tell by the color on the outside, but when you're starting to see cracks like that, oh, is that another one right there? Yeah, so like there's another decent one starting on the side. You don't want to see that, because if that snaps, it not so good for your engine. Okay, let's go to step 2. Okay guys, step 2, we are going to remove the idler pulley. You need a 14mm socket, your 1/2" drive. I'm using this trick angled pivot extension because the end of the 1/2" drive was getting a little too friendly with what I believe is an air conditioner line, I believe. So I just used this little extension, bada bing, bada boom. So that was very easy, bolt came off, and just for reference, it literally should just slide off like that. It's just held on that little nub there. So we have the old one. Keep in reference how it came out, so that way, here's the new one. Looks quite a bit different. Also, this is the bolt that came out. So it has a little bit of a cap on there. So in case you're looking at it thinking the one that you got doesn't quite look the same, it's actually just a cap to try and keep the bearing inside as nice as possible, although it looks pretty freaking grungy. All right, stage 3. Step 3. Stage 3, you have to replace or remove this bolt here and this bolt here. So all that is the bracket for the idler pulley that was sitting on. So you take those out. It actually came out very easy. One thing I actually want to say is I'm a very big advocate for dousing things that I'm going to work on with some WD-40 or some PB Blaster just to make it easier to work on. But I have not done any of the sort with this because I was kind of worried with just splashing it around the belt areas and whatever, so I decided not to, and all these bolts so far have come out very easily. So something to keep in mind, you don't really need to worry about that. Give it a test first before you start blasting things away, and then this should, yep, just slide this up and around, get that out of the way. Okay, so now we can see the tensioner. First, we obviously have, so if we look at our new tensioner here, you can see there's going to be, so that was the bolt there and there that we just took out that holds on the idler bracket. So there's going to be a bolt here, and a bolt here that we need to remove on this tensioner. I do believe we have to take the actual tensioner pulley off so that we can get down to this guy. I'm not 100% sure. I'll get back to you. So pause for a quick second. One thing I want to show you guys, I actually just found out what I believe the noise was that I thought was my idler pulley, and that's why I'm replacing it. I actually think it was my tensioner. So I'll show you why I think that. So when we're looking at the new tensioner here, you can see if I try and move it, there is a tiny bit of play, but not much. You can kind of hear it, tiny bit of play, but not much. When we come around to my tensioner, this thing, hang on, let me try and get a really good view of it. There, you can see how much it's moving there. And just that, I believe that is beyond shot. So really good thing I'm replacing this tensioner. I'm still going to go ahead and replace the idler pulley. Why not? I'm there. That thing is still spinning. That is loose. And if you look at this, like as soon as you let go, it stops. So the bearing in that pulley is definitely shot. Back to it. Quick little update. Bigger is not always better. So I was using the 1/2" drive. And it was just a little too big to fit in here on the actual tensioner bolt. Once again, this AC line is right in the way, so I went and got a smaller ratchet with a smaller 14, and it just snugly fit in here. And just a little heads up, that bolt on the tensioner was on there like a mofo. And when I finally broke it loose, you just got to be careful not to smash this AC line, because once again, you don't want to be breaking that. So I got that off now. Unfortunately, you do need to take that tensioner off to be able to get to this bolt right here. It's just way too crammed in here. Try and get a little bit more light. It's way too crammed in here to try and fit anything back there without taking it out. So you're gonna have to take that bad boy out. So I just wanted to show you real quick, this tensioner is, well, this tensioner pulley is completely shot. There is so much play in that bearing. It was for sure what I was hearing. Like, there's play up, down, side to side, everything. So if you're hearing some noises, it's probably your tensioner pulley bearing. Time to do the job. Okay, so now that we got this pulley out of there, we can reach behind here and get that final bolt. Where is it? This guy right here that's hidden. So last night is actually a new day, but last night I actually had to go help a buddy change a trans because he blew his first gear. But one thing they told me, and I actually didn't realize this, and thankfully I told him, when you take this pulley off right here, when you look at the back of the tensioner, it's got a nut on it. So when I took my pulley off, I heard something fall. Wasn't sure what it was, but now I know that I need to find a hex nut somewhere down there. But good to know anyway. He also told me that if you use a swivel joint on your ratchet, you can squeeze behind here. I don't know if I have the right one, so I'm going to try and do that by when I put it back in. But if not, this is 41 foot-pounds of torque, and these are 16, I believe. But so for now, I'm going to take this tensioner off, get all 3 bolts. One here, one here, one here. I am going to do the middle one last. So I'll take these 2 off first, and then I'll do the middle one last. And pow, just like that, the tensioner is out of there. So full disclosure, that last bolt at the back is quite difficult to get to. I ended up using the 3/8 ratchet with an extension, or sorry, just a longer number 12, just to get back and around there. I have zero faith that I'm going to be able to get this back on without taking this off. I don't think I have the right tools for it. Like, I don't have the swivel joint for the 3/8. I only have it for the 1/2 inch. This thing is honestly just too big to get in and around that area. So in saying that, what I'm going to do now, get the new tensioner back on. I'm going to start by putting in this bolt and that bolt. Then I will take off the new tensioner pulley, making sure I hold on to this nut so I don't lose that. And then once I get that off, put this bolt on, put this back on. Bob's your uncle. Okay guys, so I've got the tensioner in with 2 bolts, the one on this side and the one in the middle. 3 little, I wouldn't call them secrets, but 3 little things that I just found out that are going to make your life way easier. So as I said, I do have to take this pulley off to get to that back bolt there. I couldn't finagle anything in there, so that didn't work. So when you're taking this off, the hex bolt that's on the back, as you can see, like, my finger barely even fits in there. Like, I can fit it in there to hold the nut there, but as far as getting 2 fingers in there to try and grab it, wasn't going to happen. So I got a trusty little magnet extender. So when I was taking it off, I had it sitting right in there, and you have to be very careful while pulling the bolt out that holds the pulley on. And if you do it real slowly, the magnet will catch it and you can slowly pull it out. So that's how you get it out. But now you're wondering, how the heck do I get it back in there? Well, I devised this little guy. I just got a piece of cardboard, some electrical tape. I actually might trade it out for duct tape so it doesn't fall off for sure. But that way you can just kind of slide this in back there and hopefully it won't fall off. You can finagle it and then slowly put the bolt in on the other side, and hopefully I'm going to be able to catch it and thread it in. Also, to get this bolt in the back, it's kind of hard to see and it's in a bad spot. I tried it once already and the bolt fell out. Luckily I could find it. And if you're wondering, no, I could not find the original hex nut from the original tensioner that fell down here. No idea where it went. I spent like 15-20 minutes looking for it. Hopefully I don't hear any ping ping pow going on when I turn it on, but anyways, so for that, what I did is I just got my socket. A little bit of focusing here. I got my socket and I put, this isn't going to focus for me now. I put some electrical tape. Come on now. Oh, come on. I put some electrical tape on it just so that it would actually hold the nut, the bolt in there. Oh, I'm trying to get to focus. I'm sure you guys can see what I'm saying. So I put some electrical tape on it, just kind of bent it in a bit so it holds the bolt in the actual socket, and then it'll be easy to just pull this off once it actually gets in there. So it's 3 little tips that I think are very important for you guys to keep in mind. Otherwise, I don't know how you're going to do this. So in saying that, I'm going to get this bolt back on, tighten up those 2 bolts, and get this tensioner back on, and I will reconvene with you after that. Oh my God, guys, I am so pleased with myself. Check this out. So all my little tricks worked for the most part. As you can see, we got the tensioner back on, all 3 bolts are on, and I got the pulley on. The only thing I needed to do for that is I actually modified my little trick, and I had to put a flathead screwdriver on the back of it just to give it a little bit more support. So when I had it in there, I could actually push forward on the back of the pulley. So this actually worked out fine. Everything worked out great. So now all we need to do, throw this guy back around, bolt that back on, get the idler pulley back on as well. Word to the wiser, this tensioner pulley is supposed to be 41 foot-pounds, putting that bolt in. I could not fit a torque wrench in here, so I just gave it a nice little ugga-dugga. Same with all the other ones. They're supposed to be 16 foot-pounds of torque. I can't fit a torque wrench in here, so I mean, I just did it as hard as I could. I'm not worried about those. This one I was a little bit worried about because I didn't want the bolt compressing the bearing too much, but spinning as freely as it was before I took it off, so I'm not really that worried about it. So now throw this guy back in here, put these 2 bolts back on, get your idler pulley back on. This one I believe is 16 foot-pounds as well. I'll double check. This one I'll probably be able to get the torque wrench in here. So I will do that, and then we're pretty much done. And done we almost are. As you can see, I got my idler pulley back on. With the bracket and everything. I have put my belt on almost. I just need to release the tension from the tensioner and get it around the idler pulley here. Reason why I didn't film that is I don't really know how to film that. It was a bit of a struggle. You gotta be patient with it. Same with putting that tensioner pulley back on. You just got to have a bit of patience. I will show you the diagram right now. So here's the diagram. So here's your idler pulley here. Your tensioner is there, crankshaft there. That is the compressor for the AC. I'm not really sure what that one is. And this is your, what is that? Alternator. So that's your alternator. So let me try and get a good focus on this so you guys can pause it and take a look at it. There you go, right there. So as I was saying, it's kind of hard to film doing this. You got to kind of snake it down, go around this, then go around that. It takes a whole bunch of working a bit up here, then going to take a look down here, making sure it's lined up. It takes a bit of back and forth, but just keep this in mind and just work at it slowly and you'll get it. So what I am going to do is I will try and set up the tripod so we can get a good look at me. Well, I can't really see anything down here right now. I'm going to try and get a good look at me just getting the final strap on, and we will be good to go. Okay guys, so just like before, I have my 14mm wrench on the tensioner bolt with my pry bar here. I'm going to pull it towards me to release the tension off the tensioner, and let's hope for the best here. Okay. All right, that actually went pretty good. So now, okay, now that that is done, I'm gonna go around and double check that the belt is nicely sitting in all the grooves on the idler pulley, the what's that? The alternator, the AC compressor down there, and the actual crank pulley, just to make sure everything's sitting right before we go ahead and turn this on. All right, guys, just like that, everything is looking great. So as you can see on this guy here, it's sitting perfectly in between there. Follow it down to the alternator. It is sitting perfectly on those grooves. If you look even further down, if my camera will zoom, you can see, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Oh, come on. You can see, come on, there it is. You can see it is sitting down there on the AC compressor. Nice, nice. And if you come back over here, zoom out on the crankshaft, she is sitting nice. As you can look at it again on the AC compressor, everything is looking mint. So I mean, the only reasonable next thing to do, turn her on and see what happens. Sounds like sweet, sweet success to me. Everything seems to be running good. Get my light down in here. Belt doesn't seem to be wobbling around at all. Everything seems to be running smooth. The sound that I had before is all gone. Looking good. And just like that, we are done. I really hope you guys found this video useful. I watched a couple other tutorials on how to do this, the tensioner serpentine belt. I feel like they kind of missed a couple things, so I really hope I covered everything you were expecting to be shown in this video. If you did, please feel free to leave me a comment. I really do appreciate hearing back from people that enjoyed the videos that I make. Obviously, it's a lot harder to do a project while filming it and then editing it. So when you guys show me some love, I really do appreciate that. As far as that goes, I also am going to be doing a valve lash on my car. That's going to be phase 2 of getting it ready for beating the crap out of that Fiesta ST. So give me a subscribe. Just subscribe anyway, so I can get 1,000 subscribers and my wife can't say crap when I show up with a Rotrex in here to lay down some Volkswagen and Audis. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.